Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, taking a super fun, super exciting, and slightly weird video for you guys today. That is because for the first translation video of 2026, we're talking about the recently released English translation for Magical Day. This is basically a party game style thing, kind of like Mario Party, along with a dating sim all in the same game. It was originally released in arcades on Taito's FX1A board, then ported home to Japanese PlayStation 1s. And even though playing the mini games isn't the hardest thing in the world without understanding Japanese, because this is actually half a very light dating sim, understanding the language there is going to be paramount to actually being able to understand and enjoy the game. And when I say this is a weird one, I 100% mean it, but in all the best ways possible. Before you get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, got a Patreon link down below as well. But is there ever a time in your life where you wanted to play as a tropical frog, basically playing Street Fighter style inputs against another tropical frog? If the answer to this question has ever been yes, and I'm sure for 100% of you, it has been yes, Magical Day is going to cover that for you. Basically, this is just a collection of mini games and basically a board game, all combined around the concept of a dating sim. You pick someone you want to date, you go through the board, you answer questions, take photographs of the girls because of course it is that type of game, and then you just basically see how your result is in the end. But as a game, whether a one-player game or a two-player game, this thing is just straight up fun. All of the mini games are amazing, they're creative, and they have that arcade vibe going for them because again, this did start its life in arcades, and because it never actually came west, we never got a chance to understand what was in the game until basically about maybe 4 days ago, at least as I record this video. You leave me a comment down below and you tell me, have you ever played Magical Date before, and did you know it existed? I feel like most people have never actually heard of this one, but hopefully you can prove me wrong. And you'll see here, all we need to do is shoot down all of these different ships to be able to pass. Like I said, think point blank, where you basically have a score requirement every single stage, but not with a light gun, with just a controller. And big thanks to Kilter Music for helping with the captures. We're definitely going to get a sense of exactly what he likes in his personal life, and that is just a joke for sure. But again, I just love stuff like this. I love that people spend the time to go in and translate an absolutely amazingly weird and amazingly fun game, because the story elements and beats really do go to serve to prove just how strange the game can be and just how charming it can be at the same time. It's one of those things, this game is totally enjoyable if you play it in its original Japanese, when you actually understand what's going on in the story, and it just becomes that much better. Because trust me, the story is absolutely going to go in directions you don't expect whatsoever, and you're going to be really left wondering who came up with this idea in the first place, how did it get greenlit, and why did it ever make it out into the world. But the reality is, whoever was making this thing at Taito was smart, because if you go by the sales records of actual arcade cabinets, they did keep ranking back in the day in Japan. This was the 4th most popular machine that released that month. It's one of those things, just think of something like the record charts or even movie charts. They had that for arcade games in Japan to show people what games are definitely being successful out there, and Magical Day, I'm sure, made a lot of operators and Taito some money for sure. But you'll see here, now we're getting into the dating sim aspect, and all of this language right here being in English, this would all be in Japanese. So all of these questions you're saying yes or no to, you'd have no idea how they actually function. It's one of those things you could probably poke your way through with something like Google Translate on your phone. Well, this is going to be infinitely better, and it's going to be easier to actually do better in the game, because those answers do affect the overall result you're going to get. But as we move into another puzzle game here, it's one of those things, definitely play this one with a friend. A 2-player experience of Magical Day, it is absolute chaos, because like I said, it's every bit as good as Mario Party without any of the Nintendo involvement or characters. And when you actually get to the dating sim again, you're just going to think to yourself, why did anyone think this would work, and how did it actually end up working in the first place? Every single board here, you're going to see we get to karaoke, and that's going to be the next date. And basically, your dates are going to ask you to photograph them to show whether or not you were paying attention and you get the good shot of them. So you have move controls, you have focus, and then you actually have the shutter. And you need to take a photograph at the right time to make sure that your date is happy. And this is what I meant when I said we all know what Kilter Music's about in this instance, because you end up getting the result of the shot that he thought was best, and we know exactly what he's into now. All jokes aside, I'm making this up as we go along, and the game just kind of select something at random for you. But here's the first soundtrack sample, 45 seconds, and I'll be right back with a lot more. music is super fun and charming, the sound effects are great, and the voice acting in this game is actually relatively good for what you would expect out of an arcade game, and that is why this just is, again, a ton of fun. It's one of those titles you probably never experienced before, and I'm assuming most people haven't even heard of, and when you actually go to the beach date, you even get to pick out your date swimsuit. I definitely feel like that one on the left has shown up in more than one Japanese movie, if you know what I mean. And if you do, you can't blame me for it, because you knew it as well. But all jokes aside, I am having fun with this video, and you can kind of read between the lines as to where I'm trying to make those jokes. But as we get back into the actual minigames here, you're going to get a different set of them every single time you play, but of course at a certain point in time you're going to have seen them all. This is not the type of game that's going to have longevity. It's the type of game that you play for a couple hours. Next time you have a game night with your friends, you load it up and you tell them to expect something they've never seen before, and I can guarantee there's going to be a lot of laughter, there's going to be a lot of side eyes, and there's going to be a lot of fun, because there is something here for everyone as far as the minigames are concerned, and if you dial up the difficulty on this, they definitely get very hard. Maybe not as hard as the hardest mode on the arcade board, because I actually have this one in the closet next to me, and I almost got a capture to compare, but I'm currently moving. It's boxed up, and if I start taking things out of boxes, I think my wife might actually murder me, because I have an absolute metric crap ton of stuff to move, and I'm not letting the movers do it, so I have to do it all by hand, and it's going to probably take me 2 days, and I am definitely not looking forward to it. But that is definitely a me problem. Don't know how I ended up with so much stuff, but I'm now realizing just how much there truly is. But after we get through that tangent on my actual moving back in here, I love that you get a game where you just play as a seagull, kind of just emulating something like Super Mario 64 flying through rings. Every single minigame in this is so weird, so unique, and so different that you really feel like the developers are trying to give you the most amount of fun for either your yen in the Japanese arcades or for your money when you actually brought the game to go home. And I really love that about this. It's got all of the arcade vibes and style, as well as now a new English translation. But one more soundtrack sale, because again, I love the music in this game, and I'll be right back to show you just a little bit more. Yeah, definitely a vibe on that photo there, but that is Magical Date. It has a sense of humor, and it has a sense of quote-unquote charm that people definitely are going to be into. And that really is kind of the fun thing. There's something here for everyone, and when I mean something here for everyone, I just mean something here for everyone. But the party games are really why I'm here. The dating sim aspect is a fun kind of mashup, but honestly, now that this is in English, it's going to be a lot easier, because it's not just the dating sims that are going to be easier. All of the puzzles are in full English. All of the actual challenges are as well, so you're going to be able to better understand what's going on. And it's one of those things. This is absolutely just a straight up fun game when you're playing with friends and having a good time, and having it in English definitely makes a big difference if you want to understand exactly what's going on in the game, because I can't think of another game that combines this kind of arcade quick action together with a dating sim. So if you can think of one, leave me a comment down below, because one thing I can safely say, and no judgment if you're into them, I've never actually played a dating sim outside of that joke Colonel Sanders dating sim, and that was just to see what the hell everyone was talking about. And I honestly, one of those things, not sure why they made a Colonel Sanders dating sim, but I love that KFC has that weird sense of humor. As we move into the next level here, a lot of what I do love about Magical Date is just this pure PlayStation 1 aesthetic. The chunky polygons, the absolute feeling like they just discovered 3D graphics. It absolutely has a vibe, and it works with what it's trying to do. But I am curious, if you ever actually played this game before, I don't know how many people out there have, and I'd love to hear your opinions as well, because it's one of those things. I do own an arcade board for this, and it's definitely something I always keep around, because it is fun to hook up when friends come over and want to play some strange arcade games. But that really is the fun thing about Magical Date. There really isn't anything quite like this game. I absolutely love the developers at Taito thought to themselves, we have a great idea, and just decided to run with it. Because is this the perfect type of thing to play in arcades, and the perfect type of thing to play at game nights? You're just thinking to yourself, let's put something on that we don't have to pay too much attention to. We can just sit down, have fun with, and kind of get an experience you've never seen before. And now that is 100% in English. That is absolutely an amazing ROM hack in my opinion. But I am curious, leave me a comment down below and you tell me, if you could snap your fingers right now and make one game instantaneously become in English, which one would it be? I would be curious. But that's about it. Go play Magical Date. The link to the patch in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.